Ahoy. I am streaming. Is my head as big as it should be by rights? Yes, it's proportional to those letters over there. I have, what am I? 6 lines wide? Yep, tall. I don't know, maybe a 40 by 40 screen. Okay, hello. I'm not sure how much talking I'm gonna do, because this time around I'm actually planning on getting somewhere. Oh, hi, Jaculasin. Thank you for following. Villain, wow, you're there. I hope I pronounce all your names in the ways that you have become accustomed. Does that just imply you're always on this channel, just waiting for that moment? Hey, well, given that you've been actually following what I've been doing, Viren, I know, me too. Is that even true? No, it's not true. Sometimes, I mean, it depends whether accents are mispronunciations, right? For a very long time, I got called Stan in America because no one could actually translate Danny. I would say Danny. I mean, this didn't happen a lot, but it happened in Starbucks, is what I'm saying. So I would be Stan a lot of the time. So I did 2 things. One is, I think I got the track listing thing working. Although I realize as we start that I didn't actually turn it on for this. So should do it right. Yep. Wow, I actually remembered the while construction. Well, sort of. It's certainly all very Lispy. Like, basically, the underlying packaging system runs using, I mean, it's all using this thing Guile, which is a scheme, which is a Lisp. I guess that's a tower of definition. So it's all running using Guile. The packaging system and kind of the distribution is written in Guile, and I'm just, for perversity, trying to write all my scripts and things in Guile as I proceed. But hey, Jack, you're back. So it's certainly kind of patchwork of a motley of Lisp. That's a good way to learn Lisp, although it's a bit depressing. Let me turn this up. It was a bit depressing going on GitHub earlier today and realizing that turn this down in my earphones. There's a bug with PA view control. It always crashes. Curse you! Pulse audio. I was gonna say Lennart, but it shouldn't be personal. It's me. There we go. Same volume for you, quieter for me. Oh god, that's so much better. Alright, back to out of the meta. Yeah. Ugh, I'm so glum today, Varen. I was up very late last night. Of course, Stillman finally resigned, which means that between me telling him to resign, that was 3 days. Although, honestly, when I met him, I had already rated his chances of actually leaving at 70%. I try and like calibrate the probabilities of things happening, and I don't think I contributed to that maybe I did, but it was always pretty clear on Friday. We're doing exams? Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, hopefully I shall just be a pleasant, relaxing, therapeutic distraction to you. What I'm doing for therapy at the moment is this, which, here we go. Is it run yet? Oh, what? It crashed. Maybe I can try it again. It'll work. Oh, look, force a save overriding save. So this is a adventure program using the machine learning text prediction model, GPT-2. So I don't think I kept the actual, here we go. Okay, well, you begin to see the idea here. It's pretty old. Huh. Well, anyway, I'm going to run that in the background if it actually compiles. So we can play some surreal adventures games. See if I can. Which one of these is going to be most likely to actually show you a decent version of the game? Have you ever played retro adventure games like, what is retro to these people? Okay, is that it? This is horrible. Yeah, here we go. So I'll stick this in the chat. Okay. All right. Let's see. This spawning okay. Hmm. I'm pretty sure this isn't gonna work. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so maybe do that. Might work. Do a slave over a hot GPU. If I just reload the page. This is not doing what I was planning on doing. But it is what I was planning on doing in the background. I've had You're So Vain. You bet you think this song is about you. Banging around my head. Apparently, at least one verse is about Warren Beatty. If anyone remembers Warren Beatty anymore. Probably only through that song. Is that damning? Potentially damning. I'm going to concentrate on what I was doing. Okay, so with the exception that Clementine is still mysteriously stopping. That script should work. sounds like the beginning of Some Mothers Do Have Them. Sounds really like it, actually. Somebody taking the piss? Sorry if I'm being unduly English with these references, but it is my culture. Well, I guess the easiest way for me to see whether this is updating is actually just to go to the switch. Are we just going to enter into a time vortex here? Okay, stand back. I'm going in. Better mute it. Otherwise, hideous. I can't even read it. Look at the resolution. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Five features. Okay, let's see. That's what really is being playing. Yes, great. So now we have the tracks updating. I admit I kind of cheated. The last couple of episodes, I've been ostensibly messing around with directly interfacing dbus, which is sort of the process-to-process communication system kind of Linux, using that to talk to my music player, not using my lips, but using ones and zeros. And I was going to use the dbus interface over the GTK object, introspective objects, and that, as it may sound to the innocent bystander, was incredibly complicated, and even more complicated in Guile, because the sort of way to link Guile to GTK objects has not really been finished written yet, because there's only 10 of us using Guile. I don't know how many people are using it. Doesn't feel like very many, but that's nice because you can kind of know everyone. I wonder, didn't start up PixChat. See how many people are in the Guile ILC. Oh, none. No. That's not a huge amount. I mean, given that most of these people have joined this in 1996 and probably haven't just failed to notice. So the people I know, or I guess have heard of, that sounds familiar. C Spring, David talks a lot. I mean, in a good way, of course. I bet LISP Max I've heard of. Malcolm's is me. Ricardo, I think, is the Greeks maintainer, or one of the main coders. I think Roptat is 2. And SPK121 is the person who's working on the library that we're using. And Wingo is the compiler coder, who sort of, I think he does it as a hobby, but he mainly works on JavaScript. Possibly? Anyway, he's the one working on the new version, which will have just-in-time compilation. Extremely exciting. No, mustn't get distracted. What I should do is go up here, and I should make this menu bar actually work. Swaybar dop Guile, right? It says just testing and then foo. Alright, yeah. Back in the primitive world of that program. Okay. we go. I'm using FASD, which is a way of finding files quickly that's sort of tied to the shell, tied to Z shell. It's really good. It's actually changed my life. TM. It's not fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. That's an unfortunate coincidence. Wow. I guess they really lost on the SEO to a major illness. Here we go. I really like its algorithm for finding things. It's just very natural to me. Yeah, it uses frequency. I think in the future I would like to do more things with frequency. Let's put this away sometime. Let's call this ideas. Of course, if I don't put it in my to-do list, I'm just going to forget. FOSS naming, I know, including the word FOSS, right? It's like we cannot define what this is called. Therefore, we're going to make an acronym out of all the things that we call it. Free, Libra, you missed Libra, open source. What's it doing? This is the program that starts my streaming setup. That was not what we wanted. Oh no, I'm totally wrong. This is I'm distracted. This is the program to do our toolbar. So we need to start saying something a bit more exciting than foo. It would be useful to have the time up there. I'm gonna say the time and the battery power may be good statuses. So I like this construction. But this construction was good, where it adds one, but it also deletes it. I'm sure it's very inefficient, but it does make it look immutable, which is to say, there isn't a variable having this value stored. It's just returning a new value from an old value. So I guess we need to work out how to print a date. Look, if I've gone all the way to doing track listings for you, very least music you could do is actually play. Alright, channel. If that goes quiet again, shout, and I'll try and catch it failing. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, that was remarkably quick. Data string. You know, I could practically have guessed that, but I wouldn't have guessed that it was in SRFI 19. Right, wasn't it? Okay. Hello, Amaro Mendoza. Hola. Okay. Oh, but I need to tell it what date. I used to. Here we go. Ooh. It's got like little short versions for the. Okay, let's go for tilde 4. That's exciting. I always use ISO 8601. God, what a sucky day it was today. Well, it was alright, actually. Was it tilde 4? Okay. We just wrap ourselves around it. 8-2 string. Got ahead of myself a little bit there. Okay, so it needs a date. Turn a date object. Type that. Current date. Assume that's a function. That'll work. Run this. Oh, I remember. It went silent. No one noticed. No one told me. You're not paying attention. Or perhaps you're paying attention so much that mere distractions like music are no longer relevant to your ethereally high status. Error reading from status command. Okay, that did not work. God, I can't spell module. Like. Whoop. Oh, you have to put that. Okay. Well, that was not going to get very far. Got a bit further. Oh, right, I didn't actually successfully put it. Now, congenitally unable to type use modules. Not clever enough with Emacs to know how to re-enter these things. Oh, that's looking very promising, actually. So, did I do something stupid somewhere else? Doesn't seem like it should be. Nope, that's right. Okay. Type to apply. Oh, is that because... Oh, right, no, I just shouldn't have put parentheses around this variable. Oh, that's funny. Oh, magical Lisp thing. Excellent. I'm learning to do that, I think. This means take all of this as literal, all the things that don't have an at. I've got this the wrong way around. The at symbol in way. But interpret this. Like, convert this to a value. So this is kind of like saying, just here, everything here is like I'm quoting it, like this is, I don't want you to calculate anything here, I just want you to stuff what I'm describing into this list. Whereas this is saying, calculate this result for me, please, and then put its value into here. I know. Well, I've only been using it for a year, seriously. Well, you know, I've probably been using it. Is it? You're talking to me. You're talking to me in at symbols, but it's, I believe you. I'm going to look it up. Save you the typing. It's quasi-quoting, isn't it? Okay, right, okay, so it's a, no, this is what is, this is something different. I think that should do it. I'm afraid that you actually know Lisp, Talia, so I think you're going to grow increasingly frustrated with my hauling knowledge and tendency to look everything up on Google. Still set up for Google. I'll set it up to DuckDuckGo. Quasi quoting. Okay, so here we go. So that would be splicing with that symbol. I'm not sure that's what we want to do though. I think we can just use the comma. We're good. Excellent. We're both blundering. I feel a lot happier. So you can say that, and then you can say 1, 2, 3. Then you can say 1 plus 2. That wasn't what I was expecting. Maybe it is what you suggested. That is not really what we were going for, right? Ah, okay. Huh. That is actually not what I was expecting, but we'll go with it. Funny extra thing. Guess we can test this. Again, Rory will be able to just flip that over much more quickly. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. I tell you it's gonna work, man. World. People, we have a working sort of useful, I like the green actually, sway bar. That's fantastic. That's worth a git commit. Yes. Okay, edit that. That's nice. Tells a story. Stage that. Commit it. I don't know what all these things are called. Like part of. I guess it's part of code, just the code therapy script. So you can say. Date, time. Okay. While we're at it. This looks like it hasn't been committed in a while. Formatting. How many formatting changes? Look, back then I knew that what that pointy backtick was. Yes, a powerful victory for me. Today, the sway bar, tomorrow the universe. Okay, well, it's a little messy, but probably just. It's so, you know what's interesting, Talia, is I've been thinking a lot about Richard Stallman and the Stallman drama, and as frequent visitors to this channel will know, I think he should have stepped down. And in fact, last Friday, I actually said to his face that he should step down. The sway bar is, so this is Sway, the Wayland windowing manager, and the sway bar is this thing up here, which takes the same format as i3, the other windowing manager. Yes, very fortunate timing. I don't think I would have told him to step down before Friday. I think Friday was definitely the point where he had screwed up to such a point that it was becoming a liability. After a long time. Anyway, the main thing was that I went back and reread a really interesting, I guess, essay called Science, the Compulsive Programmer. So here we go. This isn't the whole thing, but this is just an extract on this URL. I actually have the whole, like, bought the book, which is from 1976. And if you've grown up on the portrayal of Stallman in Stephen Levy's Hackers book, which, if you haven't, that's a great book. Well, it's a great book, but then you look at it critically, and you begin to see, you know, hackers, heroes of the computer revolution. You're not going to buy it. But so that's the hackers. That's the hero's tale of the beginnings of the free software movement, and at the same time, sort of coeval with what Stephen Levy was writing about then. He was sort of writing at the end of an era, and I think the last chapter is actually called The Last Hacker. And that's Stallman. Anyway, where did I put the other? Larry Wall, still a hero to most. Yeah, Yeah, they're definitely not heroes in real life, but who is? And Barry Wall is still is very sweet. I'm not sure how well known this is, but just after embarking on Pearl 6, he actually got really sick, and I think that was one of the things that sort of through the development of Pearl. And I think people didn't realize that he was sort of backgrounding himself for his health. At least that's the impression I got. It wasn't the only story I know about that is in a very typically Pearl way. I think they were on a cruise or something, and someone was getting so frustrated with the unimprovability of Pearl 5, which was just this huge mess of code that you'd have to sort of take completely apart to do in any other way, that he started picking up coffee mugs and like throwing them at the wall to get attention, which again, kind of, I remember at the time people going, oh, that's dramatic. And now I'm thinking, what an asshole. I don't know who that was. I'm sure you're not an asshole, but maybe you've realized belatedly that throwing coffee mugs at a wall is not going to win anybody over. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You were writing them? Talia, do I know you? Do I know you? Because I do remember reading those Pearl 6 summaries. They were good. They were well written. I think that's when I learnt of Warnock's dilemma, to be on the horn of John Ord. Piers. Hello, Piers. How are you? Well, finally someone gets my Pearl references and my English references. It's a pleasure to see you, Piers. Well, not see you. I mean, it's like, it's very one way, this, really. It's like me talking to an IRC, literally an IRC channel. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Because of the asymmetry of our communication, I'm not going to, like, cross-examine you. Well, I can. I mean, we could talk as much as we want. You can probably talk faster than I can just by being able to type. Anyway, this is a great piece. No, I'm overstating it. It's an okay piece, which I have some issues with, but it's an excellent way of reframing the hacker as hero model, because Weizenbaum describes the AI lab as basically being full of people who were addicts to programming. So they weren't sort of dedicated, they were trapped. And the thing I've been thinking about is like, wow, looking at Stallman, kind of other people, and thinking of their flaws as sort of not quite mental health, but mental states, maybe mental traps. I'm thinking, what would the hacker movement have been like if, rather than as this sort of hero, the idea of the selfless work, the compulsive work, that it concentrated on going, hey, we're weird and we're not going to fix our weirdness, but like, how can we make ourselves operate better in the rest of society? I don't know, I'm not really explaining it very well, but it's like this strange, I deal a lot with disability activists now, and hey, Jorge Miranda, do meta. Okay, I think I can do meta key somewhere. Not sure. Great. Make LISP go. It doesn't even spell meta. What were we talking about? yeah. So what would working with sort of the disability community and kind of watching them kind of integrate issues of like mental or whatever failings, and you know, being both kind of proud of them or accepting of them, but also trying to work out how to deal with them. God, I wonder what that would have been like. What an interesting alternative universe. No, I have not. I would love to. Turing. You know, I also have to read, what's his name? Not Stephen Johnson. There's somebody who's just written what looks to be a really good book on the sensation of programming, the experience of programming. So if this is, am I looking at the right thing here? It's so nice this when people like you come by. Every time I've done this, like some person from that I never get to see just sort of drops by. There we go. Cut and paste you. Ah. 1948 talk to London. Turing. Alan. It's an odd scan. Okay. Maybe I'll just record the search. Without all the strange Google droppings at the end. Just want the Q. But the Q. Ubuntu? Ubuntu? Lies. Someone is feeding Google lies. That's against the law these days. Okay, great. I shall read that and enjoy it. Okay. Great. You know, I'm actually a bit tempted to stop though, because I've only been on for like 10 minutes. Because I need to go to bed. I didn't get much sleep because I was, as I described on Twitter, my Twitter forest fire tower, watching the whole RMS thing play out and trying to make sure that people weren't getting hurt. I mean, not that I can do anything, but I think things like that have the nature, not of a car wreck, but of just a sort of like a forest fire, right? You just want to make sure it doesn't get too near people's houses. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap up, unless like I've only been on for 10 minutes, but it felt a bit longer than that. Gonna get some nice sleep, and then we'll build on my success. It is really nice speaking to you. Really nice speaking to everybody else. And maybe I'll go to bed and read the 1947 talk to the London Mathematical Society, as the sophisticated Twitch live streamer is often wont to do. Have a brilliant rest of your evening wherever you are. Piers, if you're still in the UK, have a great rest of your day. And hey, and Jorge, thanks for joining us on YouTube. Follow and subscribe, is the term. Okay, to turn you off. I need to finesse this.